Sublimation. I don't get too involved with sublimation, but the thing about sublimation is it really only works on light colors, white being the most effective. The way sublimation works is when the polyester gets heated up, it opens, and when the sublimation ink gets heated up, it becomes a gas. As the polyester cools, it traps that gas in it, and it's done. You cannot wash it out, can't get rid of it. The important thing is to make sure that everything is cool enough as you're popping the head of your transfer machine so that the paper from the sublimation doesn't move. If it moves slightly, you're going to get a blur. Once you have that, you're done. That print is ruined. If you try and sublimate on dark colors, probably the only thing you can do is black sublimation on like a red or a bright green, blue, whatever. But in general, you're going to work on white fabric. And unfortunately, going on dark colors, you're probably not going to see much of anything. So we sublimated this entire shirt. We then put it on press. We printed the palm trees. We printed adhesive where it says Real Hebecker, premium quality. We then flocked it, and we were done. Ran it through the dryer and finished garment. I love this print. So the fabric was sublimated as a sheet. It was then cut and made into a T-shirt. It was put on press. The eyes, nose, mouth, etc. were multicolored prints, including gel. They then flashed it. They printed adhesive, and they ran white polyester flock on top of that, ran the whole thing through the dryer, took it back to the transfer machine, carefully laid the transfer down over it, and sublimated onto the white polyester to give us the tonal values in the dog, and just carefully lifted. And so you have gel on the eyes, gel on the nose, and gel on the tongue to give them a shiny quality. Again, it's a difficult process because you have to be very accurate with your sublimation paper. So you have to have some kind of registration points to come back to. This is a sublimation print on a textured fabric. Pretty cool looking stuff. After they were done sublimating, this was done on a finished garment. Generally, when you're doing finished garments, you end up with some white areas, generally under the arms or around the collar. So what this company did was they then took liquid adhesive on a paintbrush, and they brushed it onto those areas as well as other parts of this design. And they then took it back to the transfer machine, took some foil and foiled the entire thing. Didn't affect the sublimation, but the foil stuck to the adhesive. So you can see the foil around the collar and just on parts of the skateboarder, and as well as under the arm. This way they don't have the white part showing. They've got streaks of foil everywhere to enhance the garment and actually give it some wonderful texture and visuals. Okay, a little bit more complex here. So this is a white performance fabric. The Statue of Liberty was printed with adhesive and then white flock. When it came out of the dryer, the entire garment was put onto the transfer machine. They carefully laid that transfer paper down so that the Statue of Liberty got what it needed and the rest of the garment got what it needed. So the Statue of Liberty is a flock with sublimation ink on it to give it the three-dimensional effect. The rest of the garment is just sublimated, a flat sublimated image. It's definitely a difficult situation. I know this particular company also does multicolor flock printing. So at times they can do something like this just as a flock print, or at other times it's going to be white flock and then sublimated. It's also a good thing to keep in mind if you are an embroiderer and you have really fine detail that you need to embroider, rather than embroidering it, embroider the whole area with white polyester thread and then sublimate it. This is a close-up of the flocked area. You can see the texture in the garment. That's what that little checkerboard is. That's not a problem at all when you're working with sublimation. Even though it looks like a moire pattern, it is not. So this garment was sublimated. They then put it on press and printed a multicolor print. They then took it back to the transfer machine and they added rhinestones to it. Rhinestones definitely add bling to a piece, and without a doubt, rhinestones do sell. They sublimated this entire garment, put it back onto the press, did a multicolor print with it, including glitter as the last color, so that it gave it a three-dimensional effect and a little bit of height, a little bit of texture, and a little bit more interest. Not a difficult print for the most part, other than getting that garment exactly where you need it. So having lasers on your press will definitely help, and making your design loose enough so that it can hit close but doesn't have to be dead accurate. All right, so this is my favorite one. The garment was sublimated with the whole British theme to it, and of course a British bulldog. And then they took it, when it came out, when they were done with that, they added rhinestones. Rhinestones do sell, and the more there are, the better. So this is a bit of a close-up of the print, but this is a real close-up of it. So you can see how big those rhinestones are. Bling does sell. I had somebody offer me over $100 for this garment. In any event, and no, I didn't sell it. In any event, this is me, and if you need to get in touch with me, there's all my contact information. Thanks very much for listening.